Hi, welcome to If I Did It, a show where we analyze and solve PR kerfuffles from the world of MMA and beyond.
Ah!
Like that kind of kerfuffle.
That was my sound effect.
Oh, okay, wow. So, my name is Alexi Ald, your host, and we're joined by Kid Nate of Bloody Elbow as always, and Eugene S. Robinson from Aussie.com and author of Fight Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Ass Kicking, but afraid to get your ass kicked for asking. Afraid to get your ass kicked for reading it wrong.
Yeah.
So,
he bobbles, he stumbles.
I do. Kid Nate, why should people...
Or to quote Joe Pesci, you stuttering, muttering prick.
Oh. Well, I remember back in the day in the junior high school, when anyone was called a prick or a dick, you go like, you pretend to be jerking yourself
No,
off.
that's disgusting.
Anyway,
Anything like that.
Yeah. That's why we
now
should
it's
make
time
such
to recite
references
a
here.
resume.
So why should people listen to you, Kid Nate?
15 years of public affairs and political communications experience working for presidential candidates, U.S. senators, Fortune 500 companies. I've seen it all, including a pile of $1 million cash and an Atlanta day trader's office after a mass shooting with blood jelloed on the tables like this thick.
Yeah, so crisis. It's pretty much crisis.
You just got weird really fast.
Crisis Communications. Two day trading firms were shot up. One firm hired our company. They stayed out of the papers. The other firm, they had a PR bloodbath to go with their real bloodbath. Anyway.
What about you, Eugene?
I tell you, I'll one up that story. At one point, somebody said to me, as I'm showing up at Gold's Gym, "Here, hold this for me." And I look at it, it's an envelope. I go, "Oh, it's an envelope. It appears to be a check inside the envelope." I take a peek at the check, $51 million. I go, "Was this some kind of bullshit like direct mail thing?" No, it was for the IPO for when Yahoo went public. I was hanging out with lawyers, and they didn't have a gym bag, so they just said, "Hold this for me." I was like, it ruined my workout because I kept thinking, "Oh my God, you know what? 2 hours. If I could get interest on this for 2 hours, it could change my life." So anyway, I've been a journalist since my first published piece was probably 1977. Been getting paid for it since about 1983. As well as running CFY Records, PR for bands, Intel, Adobe, Apple, Nikon, Zip Davis,
Hustler.
Hustler. How come I always forget Hustler? Future Publishing.
I never do.
Ozzy. So editorial, PR, marketing. From before you were born, baby.
Oh, there we go. And I've been helping out with crises as an attorney and as a consultant, coming from a family of 30 artists. I was the black sheep that went to law school, and I'm Mr. Helper. Solving kerfuffles.
That's because you saw 30 years of people going broke.
Some people didn't go broke. Some people totally, my cousin David Mills, God rest his soul, like he did The Corner and The Wire and all this stuff. That was that dude made it. He didn't hook me up with anything, but anyway, he made it. So speaking of not hooking up, Kid Nate, you're Vitor Belfort. Last month, reports surfaced alleging that you failed a urine test for elevated T levels before UFC 152, the title bout with John Jones. Last week, you skipped out on an MMA Hour interview with Ariel Helwani. Over the weekend, you and your wife/manager, Joanna Prado, took to the press to insist that 1, everything was above board before UFC 152, and 2, Ariel Helwani was invited to come to a press conference, so Vitor didn't duck him. Is this good PR? And what can you do from here, Nate?
Well, I don't know if it's good PR or bad PR, but it's their line, and they're pushing it. It's what they got. The argument is, I didn't want to let my man on the MMA Hour when I found out they were going to be asking about this Deadspin story alleging the elevated testosterone levels before the championship fight, because that would take his focus off the now you're adding Google effects. I got to distract me with this foolishness.
It's a shiny object.
Shiny object. I'm completely disoriented. So they're claiming that she had to protect her fighter from the wicked Ariel Helwani, but Ariel was invited to the press conference in Brazil. He just chose not to fly down there and come out for it. And they're also saying everything was above board, that Vitor was open with his taking of TRT, that he didn't hide anything from the UFC, that it was cleared by the UFC and the commission. And that's kind of jumping past the scandal. The alleged scandal is that the UFC knew he had elevated testosterone levels. They were acting as the commission in that case, and they just let it slide. So it's not on Vitor. It's really not. I mean, he was allowed to fight. It's on the UFC, and if he doesn't want to answer questions about it, he doesn't want to answer questions about it. But the bit about inviting Ariel to the press conference in Brazil is transparent bullshit. I don't know where they can go from here. Knock out Hendo and move on. Eugene?
Yo, I that I hang out with Brazilians, but I'm buying this Brazilian thing hook, line, and sinker. You know, I mean, because I know journalists. You know, I know. Okay, you want an exclusive. First of all, who's this guy to be demanding exclusives? You know, when the rest of us are sitting in here, dirty underwear, stinking T-shirts, nobody's giving us exclusives. Nobody. I don't see any undue favors thrown bloody elbow way. So he demands the exclusive, and they say, you know, actually, we're gonna have a big press conference where we'll answer anything. But I don't, you know, it's a waste of our time to be answering these things twice. You know, and he goes,
but he wasn't answering those questions at the press conference. That's the thing.
Who says this?
Well, it's apparent that it was softball question city.
Yeah, maybe you raise your hand unless there's a big Brazilian standing behind you about to choke your throat. You know, you can ask whatever fucking question you want, just like the guy in Donald Trump. You know, I'm going to ask my question, sir. He goes, get him out. You know, that guy is now famous. He's like a Chilean miner, man. Wait, when those Chilean miners got famous, do you have any idea how envious I was? I was going to go throw myself in a mine just so I could get the press.
So you're saying, Eugene, that Ariel Helwani missed a moment?
No, I'm saying that Ariel Helwani actually seized a moment. You know, it's like I'm getting a story out of this one way. You know, I'll tell you what. I've been in interviews and I've had people shit out on me halfway before the interview, and I typically do the same thing every time. I take my pen, put it down, take the tape recorder, turn it off, and start to pack my shit. And they go, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I have enough to go with what I have enough to. I'm going to go with what I have. I've got enough." And at that point, they fucking panic because they know the story has become this extra story. And in his case, it's like, oh, let me do the exclusive, where we talk exclusively about that fuck your press conference that I could dial into. You know, I'm a famous guy, whatever. And then they said, no, look, you can talk about it all you want there, but this we'd like to at least maintain some daylight, some separation. And then, as far as the bald one in the UFC is concerned, well, you know, realistically, this is like, you know, a woman that you've cheated on, and you're demanding from her, tell the truth. Why don't you tell the truth? And she's looking at you like, your wife is here. You really want me to tell the truth? Do you really want me to tell the truth? You got to give me some fucking cover here. So I'm buying the Brazilian story because it's a non-story anyway. This is a guy who a year from now, 12 months from now, is a memory.
Lost Battalion. So you're giving a free pass.
Not Lost Battalion. I mean, he knows it. You know, he's trying to write an exit script. You know, right. and the exit script is, no way do I want to be, you know, a dog's body, like the British say, a dog's body for, you know, the journalistic aspirations of the fine Mr. Helwani.
Well, speaking of aspirations, you're Ronda Rousey's coach, Edmond Tarverdyan. Reports have surfaced that you filed for bankruptcy and reported over $700,000 in debt to multiple companies. Can't recall the last time you filed an income tax return. You're claiming zero income and no ownership in the gym where Rousey trains. Eugene, how do you handle the PR aspect?
yeah, I don't know if you ever remember SCTV, but there was a SCTV with Guy Caballero, and they had on Fred Willard, and Guy Caballero was kiting checks through Fred Willard's fictitious account for Fred Willard, and the board of directors finds out, and all of a sudden it becomes the SCTV version of The Godfather, and Guy Caballero rolls his wheelchair out to the edge of his palatial mansion, stands up and uses a payphone and says, "Fuel up the jet." So if I'm Edward, I'm placing calls to fuel up the jet, you know, much like fucking Roman Polanski. I'm taking a flyer on this because you're in a fucked up situation. You either have to say, yes, my meal ticket paid me for being a meal ticket, you know, or no, in which case, you know, it looks like, you know, you're throwing somebody under the bus. You know, you're not 50 Cent. You are, in other words, this is not positioning. This is not restructuring. You're like Coach Dream Crusher Leopoldo Serrao says, you are fucking.
You are fucking. Yes, well, I don't think there's much he can do. He has dug himself a deep hole. When you're telling the IRS, I don't file income taxes and I haven't made any money, when you obviously are doing some high-profile work. I mean, if you're coaching Ronda Rousey, normally coaches in that position are getting a percentage of the income, and Rousey's been getting a percentage of the pay-per-view buys. Her last pay-per-view was enormous, sold over 1 million buys, allegedly. That's several $1 million that he should be getting a percentage of. That's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars right there. He's also claiming he doesn't own the gym that he has been thought to own in the past. It was transferred at some point. I don't know the details of what that transfer. The IRS looks very closely for favorable transfers. When you try to just give your brother-in-law your gym for $1 or some shit like that, I'm not saying that's what he did, but they look for that kind of shit and they don't fall for it. And so,
what about
also on the cusp of this back and forth with Ronda's mom? Oh my God, boja moi. This is just a bad look, man. This is
for fighters, though. Is there a situation where if he isn't getting the money, the percentages he should from his fighter, and he doesn't own anything, does that somehow, can he spin that in any way in terms of attracting fighters to whatever enterprise he engages? Because again, he's not a business manager. It's not like he's a guy who's like, oh, I'm going to manage your finance. I'm just going to train you. How does this? Can he separate the two?
No, because if you're a fighter, why do women who are prostitutes have pimps? You think pimps are guys who are beating people with car antennas? Yet in the video game I invented called Pimp Hand, that's a plug, Pimp Hand, where you score points by hitting the prostitute with the car antenna. And every time you actually make a strike, it says, give me my money, give me my money, give me my money. It's a great game. You should try it sometime. The only person I could find to design it was actually my sister. So we have I'll put a link up on Knuckle Up. Anyway, I mean, people have pimps because why? Because I don't want to go to the bank. I don't want to make an appointment with my gynecologist. I don't want to have to make an appointment to get my hair and nails done. It's much easier if you do this for me. Yes, some guys out there beating people up, but the reality of it is, if you're a fighter and you have a fucking manager, you want it one-stop shopping. You want this guy to handle your health insurance. You want this guy to get your nutritionist in there. I've seen Josh Koscheck flip out at AKA and like, where's my jiu-jitsu guy? Where's Camarillo? Where are my partners? What's going on here? I mean.
But can't Edmond just be one of those guys? Like, instead of, he just specializes in one aspect of preparing you for a fight. He's not the end-all, be-all manager.
Then you point to somebody, and then it becomes the Tweed ring. You point to somebody who's doing the managing and say, oh, no, I don't do it. This guy does. Otherwise, you look as fucking shady as fuck Columbo stuff. There's one other thing, Miss Rousey. Come on. Where's the money going?
Yeah, she's paying somebody, I guarantee you. And if he's saying, oh, you're paying the gym, and I don't own the gym, and they don't pay me, I mean, who's going to buy that? Like, nobody trusts somebody who claims they're not getting any money. I mean,
this is a Stalin thing where he's got the summary trials, and he's trying to extract a confession from somebody, and the torturers can't get it, and he finally says to them, hey, you know what? How much does Russia weigh? They rush off and they're trying
Donna Shalala, ding, ding,
Oh, really? Alexei, could you finish the story then, please? Oh, he can't.
No, I can't finish the story from this show. I can finish it from other shows, but this show is a unique venture.
Yes, in any case, Ronda is at this point, does this guy, does her coach, does he weigh more than the USA?
Right.
The U.S. now. He doesn't.
So we know which way this is going. You can't PR your way out of catastrophe.
Well, speaking about weight, straw weights.
I want to talk about this Miesha Tate thing. I don't know if that's on.
Oh, we will. We have that. We have that a little later.
Good.
So that's
all right. Good.
That's a nice little preview.
Good.
All right. So you care about the ladies here. All right. So, Kid Nate, you're Paige VanZant. The UFC is not only putting you up against the last straw weight it girl. They shrank your image on the poster. How do you handle your demotion?
you just got to get in there and fight at this point. I mean, this is where the rubber hits the road. And like Paige has had some hype, Rose has had some hype. They're putting him in there head to head. They're putting Paige like in the old poster. Paige was front and center.
Yes.
And Calderwood was in the background. Now Paige is in the background and Rose is up front. And I wouldn't focus on any of that. You just got to think about this as a fight. You got to focus on your opponent and take care of business. You can worry about the bullshit and the fight hype later. This is the real deal. This is a serious fight. This is a much tougher opponent than Paige has had in the past. So you just got to focus in the gym and be ready to fight and try to win that fight. That's all you can do.
What do you think, Eugene?
I think that what do they say about diplomacy is the art of saying, good doggy until you can get your hand on the rock. This is a test for her, for Paige, in a lot of different ways. I mean, if you don't think that the bald one is kept up at night by the possibility of an uppity fighter, you're crazy. I think he periodically seeds the clouds so he doesn't have multiple Conor McGregor situations on his hands. You gotta, speaking of pimps, you gotta let people know who the boss is pretty early on, even if it's something as minor as size of your picture on the poster. I mean, and the only way to get around that, the only way to become untouchable is to Johnny Boney Joni it, to Ronda it, or heretofore to Conor McGregor it. And I mean, just like I've been getting worried for DC, I'm increasingly, when I think about Conor McGregor right now, I get the spilkus and the gonectozoid. I get I get this anxiety, this intense anxiety, because I can feel it. I can feel it that they have turned on him. I can feel it, And the reason they've turned on him is because, absent a record of real stomping accomplishment, he started to make demands, and they can't have it. They just can't. They can't, from their point of view, you understand, they can't have the lunatics running the asylum,
Well, speaking about lunatics and asylums, Eugene, you're Daniel Cormier. Your pay-per-view numbers come in and your fight with Alexander Gustafsson bombed.
Yeah.
You need hype for your next fight, so you troll John Jones for a scuffle at his gym opening.
Ooh.
And post a photo of yourself there and claim nobody let you in. Jones calls bullshit. How do you stay relevant?
How do you stay relevant?
Mm-hmm.
He's relevant in the same way that Charlie Brown was relevant to every single baseball game that was played in the Peanuts comic strip since the 1950s. He's relevant in that when it's all over and he's laying there with his shoes and his baseball hat and his baseball glove all spread out on the mound, people will go, whoa. Like I said, I really have like gripping anxiety now. He's a friend of Knuckle Up. DC is. He's right here in San Jose. And from everything, I've not interviewed the guy in person, I interviewed him on the phone, but everything, the guy is a capital individual, and I'm fucking terrified for him. Terrified. Why? Because at 1:42 in the morning, Johnny Boney Joni is texting him or Instagramming him. I mean, I'm up at 1:42 in the morning, but I'm not Instagramming anybody who doesn't have breasts. So I'm certainly not some guy who has a belt that I used to have. No fucking way. God damn it, So, I mean, it was a bold move, but like the drunk woman in Illinois or wherever she was, I wonder what will happen if I stick my hand in the cage and pet that tiger. Fuck you, I'm not that drunk, and then loses a hand. And then is combative with the cops in the hospital, handless. It's like, what? This is somebody.
That's fighting spirit, man.
AA was invented. That's poster person for AA. Hi,
that's a good PR suggestion for her.
My name is Sheila. Hi, Sheila.
What about you, Nate? What do you think about Cormier?
I think it's just the same thing for Paige. He needs to cut out the bullshit, focus on his training. It's do or die in the fight. If he can beat John Jones in the fight,
oh Jesus Christ, this is a rocky story for the ages.
Yeah, if he can beat John Jones in a rematch, and he had his moments against John Jones the first time. It wasn't. I mean, Jones won, and Jones won handily.
I'm sorry. Could you boil those moments down to a very specific period in time for me? Second round.
It was late. Some of the later rounds, Jones got the edge on him by going for takedowns and doing things he wasn't expecting. And I think that he has a chance to adjust his game and not get caught off guard the way he got caught off guard in the first fight. I'm not saying he's favored to win the fight, but he has a chance. He's an extremely formidable, very skilled martial artist.
He's not to be trifled with. I'm not. This is not a wash. This is not a Ronda and Holly Larry Holmes.
Yeah, but he needs to stop trying to play the mind games with John Jones.
That shit's not going to work.
Well, the thing is, I guess the question is, for this fight, as opposed to the Gustafsson fight where he really needed to, I don't know about mind games, I don't think he needed the mind games, but he needed to promote it and didn't. This fight promotes itself, so I don't think he necessarily needs to, because all they have to do is show the clips. I don't think he needs to go out on a limb and try to do ridiculous, unless, he's a pro wrestling fan, unless he takes the whole stance of he's the smug champion. And he's like, look, at the end of the day, I'm the champion, I have the belt.
You know what? Let's switch to a barroom setting, a barroom scenario. Who do you find more worrisome? The guy who's like tearing his shirt off and who's like, come at me, bro, or who do you find the guy who just quietly finishes his drink, puts it down, steps off the stool?
No, the quiet killer is always. That's the thing. The guys that are seething and they have that rage, but at the end of the day, in terms of theatrics and building up a fight, I don't think he has to go through things to build up this fight, but,
No way. It's one of those fights, it's like a really scary movie where I'm prepared to be sitting there going like, I'm worried. The only benefit...
Go ahead, only benefit of what?
Calling.
Only benefit is what?
The only benefit is that Javier is an august student of the sport, and with enough time...
August.
Huh?
August, not August, but August.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Right. When we're going on to the next thing, we will pull up a pronunciation key for.
That's the perfect time.
Let me finish. Javier will come up with, could possibly him coming up with a game plan is great.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the curveball, Eugene. You're talking about fear. You own a cat, correct?
Sadly, I own 3.
Okay. Well, a recent study confirmed that domestic cats have African lion tendencies. They're suspicious, aspire for dominance,
and are bing. +1 for Kid Nate. Listen. August.
Like I said,
Hey, I bow to you, sir. You were right one time.
Let's see the bowing. I hear talk about.
There you go. All right.
Record this moment and treasure it.
All right.
So again, as a cat owner, Eugene, they're suspicious, aspire for dominance, and are, quote, completely unstable and neurotic, end quote. In their eyes, their owners are big, stupid, hairless cats. Not parents, but non-hostile roommates. Armed with this knowledge, how do you prepare for the inevitable cat-pocalypse?
Well, listen, I knew a guy named Robbie Cohn. Robbie Cohn gets a panic call from his girlfriend. I can't make out what she's talking about. He rushes over to her apartment. Her face is covered in blood. He rushes her to the hospital. Nate runs away. So she's got 14 stitches in her chin. Apparently, she's got the female cat on the bed. The male cat was trying to get the female cat's attention. She goes, "Go away!" The cat jumps up on the bed, tears her face out. So my friend's there. They put the 14 stitches in. They bring her back home. It's terrible. Okay, 2 months later, the same thing happens again. Panic call. My friend has to rush into the hospital. He takes care of her, and he says, "Hey, maybe it's time to get rid of the cat." She dumps my friend.
Oh.
So let the neurotic cat lovers join with the neurotic cats and know that at some point in time your cat will try to murder you, and especially if you get one of these serval cats that are 40 pounds. A buddy of mine had one. Cat attacked me. I punched it in the face. He goes, "Hey, don't punch that $3,000 cat in the face." I go, "Now that I know it's a $3,000 cat, I'm gonna punch it in the face all the time. It's attacking me, But then he got a dog for the cat to attack, and it's a 40-pound fucking cat, man. This is a danger, a clear and present danger.
What I think is fascinating, Eugene, is this is another unintended transition that you've made. You talk about face punching and attacks.
And Gamergate.
It brings us to a teachable moment. You're pro boxer Youssef Mac, 35 years old and father of 10.
Ugh.
You took
Father
part
of
in
10.
you took part in a gay porn video, and when word got out, you claimed you were invited to do a straight porn shoot before being drugged and raped and waking up with $4,500 in your pocket in the subway. You're lying, of course. And the porno company threatens to sue you for libel. Nate, what do you do?
Well, Youssef has finally done the right thing. First, he denied that it was him, and then people pointed out, well, you know, those are the same tattoos on your body that you show as a pro boxer that are being shown here in the gay porn movie. Then he came up with the, I signed up to get some pussy, and they drugged me, and this happened. And so he wrote that out for a shameless, like a week. He brazened that out. And like Gawker is running stories where they're giving blow-by-blow reviews of the porn movie, and it didn't sound like he was drugged unconscious, just at least from the. It didn't sound like a very good porn movie either. But anyway, finally, when the porn company comes out and says, we don't drug people, we don't rape people, we've got your consent form, we've got you on video agreeing to do this, we're going to sue you, then he said, oh, I'm bisexual. As it turns out, I did this willingly. I'm bisexual. If you can't handle it, screw you. That's what he should have done in the first place. And you know, live and learn. Don't try to lie your way out of this shit, because that's not flying in 2015, especially when it's on video. That is just, I mean,
yep.
I don't know what the guy was thinking.
First of all, let me help you. I know from my friends, my friends at Vivid Video said anytime there's a celebrity porn tape, and the person is crying and whining about, oh, they didn't agree, know that this is a complete and total lie. No company of any size or dimension is going to release something without a fucking release. So Pamela Anderson, Tommy Lee, who is the chick, the ice skating chick, Tonya Harding, these people signed away their rights in exchange for cash, on a percentage of cash on total sold. Otherwise, you wouldn't see it. If it's a circumstance in which somebody has purloined a video, like the Scarlett Johansson nudity shots, and put them up online, then they get after that person and they shut them down. And you know, whoever downloaded it before, well, whatever, they're not going to come to your house and kick in your door. But the reality of it, commercially produced, fucking A, man, you signed it. Secondly, I mean, okay, we're stepping around the guy's detailed story, but if you don't know this, you should know that men will try to trick other men into having sex with them if they like having sex with men. Just like men will try to trick women into having sex with them if they like having sex with women. Men try to trick people into having sex with them, and that's the way it goes, you know. A buddy of mine gets this call. Oh, hey, let's have this threesome, this foursome. You know, I'm really into my girl getting down with two guys. If you could just send me some photos. And my friend sends some photos. It's like, hey, when's the girl? Oh, she's traveling now. Send me some more photos. and he invites him over. He goes, she's landing at SF airport, but she should be here in a bit. And finally, my buddy catches on. He's like, there is no girlfriend, is there? And the guy's like, well, you know. So anyway, anybody who knew anything about the world knew as soon as this guy opened his mouth that it was option 3. Yeah, you know.
Perfect transition once again for the Lost Battalion.
I thought we were going to go with Ernst Röhm and gay Nazis, but okay.
Wait, you made a reference there. Hey! So, is Miesha Tate in the Lost Battalion, Eugene?
Yeah, but Miesha Tate is in the Lost Battalion. Yeah, she is. And she is.
Why is that? Can you tell why is she in the Lost Battalion?
Because she's lost so many title fights, she's never going to get another one. That's why she's in the Lost Battalion.
Yeah, and also it's lack of awareness that qualifies it as well. Miesha Tate doesn't know she's dead. Has no idea. And so that's like she's there next to Junior Dos Santos, and they're both talking about the next fight, and everybody's looking at them like this.
Yeah.
You know, but Joe Rogan raises a point, and he's like, let's look at the spreadsheet. And on one side of the spreadsheet we've got Miesha, and the other side we've got Ronda, and let's go. They're both attractive, yes, ding ding ding. They're both good fighters, yes. Well, one has undefeated, but one, and he goes down and point for point. You know, Joe even goes deeper into something I wouldn't touch, but he's like, she's got a nice ass, and that's sorry, you know, Miesha, and and in the end, he's trying to say, why does she make a fraction of what Rhonda makes? And this is where Hollywood comes down. Remember when the Tom Cruise had the couch jumping thing, and Summer Redstone then subsequently fired him? You know, he fired him on the basis of that ranking they use in Hollywood to determine everything. Place on the poster, billing, cash, the likability index. There's an actual name for it.
The Q score.
What is it called? Q. Yes. Thank you. I'll write this down because I keep forgetting it. And you know, I'm not even going to say, you've heard me on Knuckle Up talk about the it factor. I'm not even going to say that it's because Rhonda has an it factor, because I'm not sure. I think Rhonda is in some serious PR straits with this Travis thing, you know. I mean, it just.
And the coach thing.
Yeah, right. The coach thing, without the Travis thing, sort of a non-issue. The coach thing, on top of the Travis thing, is like, I'm smelling something. Oh, it's fire. That's what's happening.
Smoke. You're smelling smoke. You hear
smoke. I'm seeing fire.
Yes.
You know?
Okay.
So they don't get crazy with the August thing, all right? So I'm thinking that the fact that Miesha doesn't know that she's dead, and I have a theory as to why she is in Lost Battalion, having nothing to do with the losses necessarily. I'm going to say this: Brian Caraway has destroyed her. You know, like it or not. Yep, like it or not. Every celebrity, you know what? You hate to know it. These people routinely keep secret the fact. I interviewed Alicia Keys, and Alicia Keys demanded that she be, for the cover of EQ magazine, demanded that she appear with her studio assistant. I was like, no, it's about you. You're actually producing this stuff, right? Yes, but I want my studio assistant. You know, on and on. We fought back and forth. I refused to put her on the cover. I could put an illustration. I don't want, you know, it's you. Turns out, of course, the studio assistant was her boyfriend at the time. It was a big secret. Why? Because they want to create the Hollywood illusion of accessibility.
Right, it's true.
And you know, it's not like I think Miesha's really going to date me, but the fact that I got to see Brian's face every time we're talking about her makes her a non-factor. Men in America are secretly thinking, yeah, Rhonda's hot. Or maybe not so secretly, Rhonda's hot. I could get with her. You got no chance, but, you know, she's there. Travis Brown now stand up at press conferences calling her his lady, angel baby, and you don't hear anything from Rhonda except the phone hanging up, okay?
Right.
So it's a science. Half the celebrities are married. They will conceal this because it creates the illusion of accessibility. Yes. And I think, you know, she's sending enough bikini shots out there, but bikini models, Playboy models, don't go on the careers, you know.
What do you think, Nate?
I think Eugene nailed it with the Brian Caraway thing, but I think he left out a key thing. It's that Caraway is a dick. People hate Caraway. He's accused of elbowing women in the head and various shenanigans and bullshit. It's like, look, it's great to have a boyfriend who's a fighter that adds the soap opera and the Kardashian and the reality shows, but when your boyfriend starts fighting with girls, that's just unseemly and unappealing, and people don't like that. And when you're tied to the guy and you stand by him through that, people don't like it. Then you lose some fights, and it's just like for a while, Ronda Rousey's Facebook likes were at 2 million, 3 million, and Miesha Tate's were at 1 million, 1.5 million. Now you're looking at it, and Ronda's at 8.8 million. And Miesha's stuck at 1.8 million. I mean, she just got left in the dust.
Jimmy Fallon is not asking her to appear, not make it. And she's nice, you know. She's nice, but she's no quote machine. Rhonda's a quote machine.
Yeah. Rhonda's a big story, and Miesha is Rhonda's best-known opponent.
Do you think Harry Hamlin's in the Lost Battalion too?
Harry Hamlin? Sinbad guy?
He showed up as Sid Vicious for Halloween. His wife is Nancy, but he wore a swastika T-shirt.
Oh, went too far with the Sid Vicious.
It's just a costume.
You know, I have a friend who's a Muay Thai fighter and has a fully accurate top-to-bottom SS officer's outfit, and decided in San Francisco to wear it to a Halloween party. And he said the vibe was so incredibly heavy during the course of the evening, he had people following him around, said, "That's fucked up, dude. We don't want any fucking Nazis here." And he's like, "It's Halloween. It's a costume." Some guy follows him into the men's room, and he's taking a leak, and the guy's like, "I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to kick." So my buddy spins around with an elbow, knocks the fucking guy out in the bathroom, thinks, "Oh, my God." The Nazi knocked the guy out. This looks really bad. Drags the guy into the stall, puts him on the stall, and then he like exits the bathroom. Little did he know the guy's girlfriend was waiting outside because she thought her boyfriend was going to have emerged victorious over the Nazis. And when she sees a Nazi come out, she goes, "Oh my God, my boyfriend's been beat up by a Nazi, my boyfriend's..." So all the bouncers are trying to find him, and my buddy goes, "Yeah, screw it." Boom, goes home, takes off the SS uniform, and then comes back in just a T-shirt and watches as all the bouncers are looking through the club trying to find him. He's
like, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
Yeah, so people are not blackface. People are not going to be that amused by it. Asian face, they're not going to be amused by it. Even fat outfits, not amused by it anymore. Mexican immigrant.
President of Louisville University and his entire faculty and staff dressed up in sombreros and the whole bit with the mustache.
Which university?
Louisville.
Jesus.
Louisville. Known for their basketball more than their academics, but
well, you know what people don't know. What I thought was interesting. Somebody want to do a video package at some point of Gil Melendez, and they were very much. I mean, if they didn't actually come out and say it and suggest it, they very much wanted. Said, do you own any roosters?
Oh.
Oh, well, he's from Northern California. That's huge in Fresno.
He's not. He's from Southern California. His dad is like a fucking surgeon. He's like from Encino. The family is like his upper middle class.
Encino, Fresno. Who could keep it straight? Who could keep it straight?
Do you have any low riders? Do you have any roosters? Yeah. And Gil was just like, come on.
Well, the thing that's so funny about the whole costume dynamic is it's a damn costume. There's so many choices that you have in terms of how to dress up, and if you just keep on targeting, like, I'm going to be a Nazi, a sombrero, a minstrel, It's...
Well, also, you could if you had the red shirt, white circle, and a black anarchy A in the center, people would have still gotten that you were Sid Vicious,
Right.
Or you got to rock it the whole way and do like Sid Vicious to go, up yours, buddy. Right. Fuck you.
And look where it got Sid. Anyway, look, that's where it's gotten our show to the end.
Sid Vicious was raped at Rikers Island.
Yes, and then possibly OD'd by his mom in a mercy killing. So,
No,
anyway.
that I don't believe. I'm not willing to believe that.
Well, I'm not. That's just the story. It's a good story, though. It's probably not true. But anyway, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube. Subscribe to MMA Nation on iTunes to get the audio only, minus all the talk, minus the uglies. Follow us on Twitter at Eugene S. Robinson, at Alexi Auld, AULD, at KidNate. Read me on BloodyElbow.com. Read Eugene at Aussie.com, sometimes Vice's Fightland. Follow Alexi on his own website, AlexiAuld.com, and look for his author page on Amazon. And we'll be back next week with another...
I got a piece appearing in the British publication The Quietus coming up on movie fight scenes. So this will be kind of fun. But also I'd like to spend, if you're gonna give me about 15 seconds, I'd like to spend the people on Reddit, the fucking Gamergate who are trying to get tough. I'm gonna say, come at me, bro. I will fuck you up. I'm not, some trembling girl in her room or behind her computer. I will show up in your town and fuck you up.
There you go. I was personally disappointed that Reddit and Gamergate came after us, and all we got was 39 thumbs down. They're not what they used to be. So, sorry, bros, but you're fizzling out. But anyway, and we'll be back next week with another episode of If I Did It. We don't know what we're covering yet because the mistakes are yet to be made.
But they will be made.
They will be made. They will definitely be made. And we'll be back with MMA Vivisection for this weekend's Hendo versus Belfort Part 3. Plus, tomorrow, Eugene, I'll be back with the completely melting on the Care Don't Care preview tomorrow. MMA Vivisection on Thursday. 6th round after the fights. Knuckle Up on Sunday. Next week we'll be back with If I Did It.
Knuckle Up live on Sunday. But you know what? I compete on Sunday, so it might be very late that I do it.
I see another one of these second place finishes in the offing.
No. This will be my march to victory, my friend.
I see. Eugene's going to do it this time. You heard it here first. So
I've done it before, buddy.
This time, he means it. So, adios, MMA aficionados. This is Kid Nate. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
All right. Take care.